All right, so this is the perfect kind of catch-up crash course I need on this situation because I've been seeing like bits and pieces of this all over the place, and then I saw the super long tweet that Cardi B wrote to Nicki yesterday or a couple days ago where she read her the goddamn riot act, which I did not like. I'm definitely Team Barbie over here, but I don't know what's going on, so let's figure out together.
Hi everyone, Drothany Matano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time to talk about this hot mess of a frickin' situation on Twitter right now between Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. Now, if you know anything about rap dynamics in 2025, especially when it comes to, you know, the side of the fence that features all of the ladies of the rap world, you know that when it comes to this new generation of women rappers, many of them are either not very well liked or are just on thin ice with the one, the only, the legend herself, Nicki Minaj. And there's no relationship in those two worlds that is more heated and more tense than that of Cardi B.
Nah, he's spitting so far, I'm not gonna lie. Nicki don't like no one coming up. I'm not gonna lie to you. She gonna check you. She gonna absolutely check you. And she gonna put you in your place like Cardi, or she gonna sign you like Ice Spice.
And Nicki, because, very famously, they do not get along very well. And while sure, I don't think Cardi B has done a lot on her part to sort of like, you know, lower the heat down, it is pretty clear, at least from my own personal perspective, the root of their rivalry for the most part does seem to stem from Nicki Minaj not really liking that Cardi B represents this new generation, this new sound, this new era of rappers who are essentially like, you know, replacing her, or at least on some level, that must be the fear or the concern. Before we get deeper into this beef, though, I want you guys to think about whether or not
it could also be like a totally like kind of Kanye situation where it's kind of more of like an internal thing than anything else. And then that's sort of just like outward manifestations in terms of like it seeming like insecurity or jealousy or anything like that.
You want any beef? From today's sponsor, Factor.
Think of the hours that you spend in your the cook.
Hey, get that bread. Get that bread though. Get that bread.
Protein options, and then
get that bread.
50 beef valid for
W sponsorship, brother.
Famous female.
Get that bread, video. Anthony.
Truth be told, Nicki Minaj has been one of the most famous female rappers on the scene for a long time, to the point where her popularity and appeal transcends hip-hop itself. Like, Nicki Minaj fans come from all sorts of walks of life. And she's also proven herself for years to be a talented writer and rapper. And by those metrics alone, you would think that, you know, she wouldn't look at someone like Megan Thee Stallion or Cardi B and see them as any kind of real threat or competition. Maybe instead people she could work with to help grow her brand out further.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish that was the case.
I mean, in fact, she did used to collaborate with Megan Thee Stallion before, you know, that relationship went sour and they began beefing, which ultimately ended up blowing up in Nicki's face. But no, rather than opting for harmony when it comes to interacting with a lot of these newer faces and names that are coming up underneath her, Nicki Minaj routinely chooses violence. And she has chosen to do so yet again in the wake of Cardi B's new album release, Am I the Drama? And honestly, I'm kind of surprised it's taken this long for Nicki Minaj to put some kind of shot out there toward Cardi. But here it is, just a few days ago on Twitter, Nicki Minaj making fun of the very bad, I even pointed it out myself in the review, ABCDEFG bar that is in the midst of the record. Unfortunately, Cardi and her writers were not really cooking on that one. And Cardi was very quick to respond with Nicki and her going back and forth with some nursery rhyme flows, being insulting, but also pretty funny, with some material here that honestly should be making it onto a track, onto a song, maybe less so a tweet. And at first, these interactions to a lot of rap fans across the board, even to Nicki and Cardi's fans, were cute, were funny. It seemed like off the bat, maybe what we were about to get was things ramping up into a quality rap battle, some disses and songs and tracks flying back and forth.
That would have been nice. I would not have minded that.
I mean, if Nicki performed once again in the same way that she did against Megan with her whole Bigfoot track, it wouldn't have lasted long. But still, a few musical trades between Cardi and Nicki would have been pretty cool. However, from here, the insult-packed tweets continued to roll out and increasingly got...
I seen the Barney one. I'm not gonna lie, that whole had me laughing. The Barney one definitely had me laughing. I don't know why. It's just... It's not even like as a diss to Cardi. It's just like, just that as a picture is absolutely hilarious to me. Like, who made that? Who made that? Show yourself.
Packed tweets continued to roll out. And
like, was it a fucking AI prompt? Because that is just insane, bro.
Increasingly got uglier, more horrific, and more personal as Nicki and Cardi didn't even stop at each other's kids. Yeah, nasty things said about each other's children going back and forth here. And rather, again, than going from here into the studio, instead suggesting that things should get physical in person and somebody's got to drop the address. Nicki Minaj also in the midst of all of this began alleging that, like, you know, Rock Nation had something to do here with Cardi B. I don't know. I really don't know. Nearly everything Nicki these days on her Twitter account, when she is, you know, complaining about something in regards to her career or the music industry, kind of ties back to Rock Nation and Jay-Z. Repeatedly, Nicki seems like pretty sure of the idea that, like, Jay-Z and Rock Nation and the major labels are kind of doing whatever they can to undermine her success, which is a pretty...
I mean, who knows, right? Who knows? I don't know.
Bold claim for the very, very, very small amount of evidence that she has shared that points in that direction. Either way, it was getting pretty heinous, and it all kind of culminated into Cardi B tweeting what reads like a very serious letter using Nicki's full name.
This is the one that I saw, and I was like, damn, okay, like I might have to backtrack and figure out exactly what happened. So now I have context for this, which is like, this is the first thing I really saw. I saw like the Barney thing, and I was like, okay, they going at it. Then I saw a couple, like 1 or 2 tweets, and I was like, okay, like this is just Nicki and Cardi doing what Nicki and Cardi do. But then I saw this, and I was like, okay, clearly it's a lot. It's a lot.
And alleging that a lot of her behavior right now comes down to mental health issues, drug use, and abusive treatment she had to deal with as a child, which, I mean, sure, maybe there's some kind of validity to that statement and or observation, but you can't really ignore the fact that these things are being brought up by Cardi in a way that comes across as like very concern trolly and opportunistic. It's kind of like pretending to take the high road when you're actually really not, because you're still kind of shoving the other person's face in it at the end of the day. But still, with that being said, I do sympathize with the fact that Cardi didn't really start any of this. And if I think she was actually going to be smart in reacting to Nicki, kind of teasing her, trying to get a rise out of her, she really just should have come back with a song, especially as you're still in the midst of a new album cycle, a new track that would undoubtedly go viral. You could pack it into the track list of your new record. It's going to get millions of fucking streams. And given just how poorly Nicki did on Bigfoot not too long ago, chances are she's not going to come back with the most fire response. Cardi, in doing a song quickly and responding to Nicki, had everything to gain, nothing to lose, but instead what we got was just a terrible, awful, garbage tweet storm that ended in a letter that was quickly followed by a few more tweets where she called Nicki a crackhead and essentially called her kids
not my goats, bro, come on. I didn't even see all this.
Slow once again. But yeah, this was very ugly, very unflattering, and not only just for the two figures most prominently involved here, because this Twitter beef did sort of like create a larger domino effect of other female rappers commenting or even being commented on through some leaked call audio of Cardi B absolutely flipping shit.
You don't know? I'ma show ya. I'm not Lotto. I'ma beat her the fuck up. You think I'm fucking pussy ass Lotto?
And it's just become very clear, very fast, that sadly, this new generation of women rappers, they're not really getting along. A lot of them don't really seem to like each other, which is,
to be fair, not a gender thing. I was just seeing, who was it? Lil TJ? Let me go out and check. Lil TJ, yeah, is beefing with every streamer he can to kind of like, just be that guy that's, creating a situation. And I don't even think it's necessarily to promote himself or get attention. I just think like he's not getting along with people that are in the similar like space of media and shit like that. So it's not just women that do it, guys do it too. There's a bunch of other guys I could name. Kanye's like the GOAT at doing shit like this, right? So it's not even like a gender thing. You know what I'm saying? Guys do it, women do it, cats do it, dogs do it. Everyone does this shit, right?
Kind of unfortunate because personally, I for a long time have thought that with a lot of newer, younger male rappers out there favoring more sort of like, underground and edgy and very sort of aggressive sounds at the moment, that this would allow the girls out there to essentially take the commercial throne and really start kind of like sitting in the driver's seat of the genre.
That's actually a very interesting perspective. I would have thought the same thing, honestly. And I actually thought the same thing for a long time. I think I might have even said it at one point on social media somewhere. And I'm actually really confused as to why that didn't happen. So this is actually a really interesting take.
From here, there is still a chance of some music coming out of all of these different rivalries going on right now. But my faith in that happening right now is kind of low, because honestly, it kind of seems like everybody here, especially Nicki and Cardi, like just hate each other so much and so deeply that there's like not even enough respect or admiration there or enough of a mutual understanding for either of them to see the others being like worthy of a piece of music they'd make in the studio. Like the hate and the dislike and the disrespect just runs that deep. Plus, I mean, after how Bigfoot blew up in Nicki's face, who knows if we'll see like, a repeat of that. Maybe she's afraid of like, running that same play again, or maybe, given how much suing in response to a big diss track right now has obviously been a thing, maybe that's something that's potentially on everyone's minds, including the label, I guess. We'll just have to see what pans out from here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, crazy. I didn't think that it was really that serious of a thing, and it must be, like you said, pretty deep in terms of like them hating each other for them not to do any music. Although, like, I mean, Drake and Kendrick pretty much hate each other, but even they made music and kind of like participated in a beef. So it's really interesting. I don't know. Hate to see it, and hate to see my GOAT going out like that. Let me know what you think down below though. Like and subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.